folks, welcome to Week in Review. This is a video where we'll take a look at the reviews that we did last week and give you short snippets so you can tell if a game is any good or not, or you might want to go watch the full review of it. These are just short clips. Here we go.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm Forrest from Game Corner. This is my Week in Review. First game I checked out was TKO from Chris Handy. This is part of the Pac-O game series, and it was okay. It's a head-to-head boxing game. I feel like there was a lot of missed potential with this game. They try and make it asymmetrical and fail, but as something that fits in your pocket as two-player, it's not terrible. Next I checked out Siege of Sunfall, currently on Kickstarter right now. I really enjoyed this blind bidding game where everybody's going to be bidding, trying to defeat common enemies, and if you bid the highest, you're going to win cards and try and gain sets to gain the most victory points, obviously. Had a lot of fun with this one. Highly recommend checking that one out. Next, I checked out Horrible Hex, which is your typical 2 to 3 player abstract strategy game. The rules have incredibly tiny print, but if you like abstract strategy games, it's not a bad one. Last but not least, I checked out Codenames, which slap a Bauer's best seal on it. Man, this is one of my favorite games of last year. It is an outstanding party game in which you're going to be trying to guess different code words. Highly recommended. Loved it at a lot of different player counts. One you definitely need to check out. If you enjoyed this week in review, please be sure to check this thing.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Last week I reviewed Monster My Neighbor, which sounds like and feels like sort of Love Letter meets Werewolf in a quick light deduction card game. I did not like this, and you can see why in my review and see if those things jive with you or not. Pirate Den is sort of a beer and pretzels, crazy 3 to 5 player game where you're just going around playing cards simultaneously, flipping them up and trying to get gems in the middle, or stealing gems from other people, or trying to bury them up before other people steal them, so you can check that one out. 10 Down is sort of it's a new card game that feels like an old classic. It looks like one, it feels like one, feels like you'd be playing this with grandma, so you could check that one out as well. Qwinto is sort of it's a game called Quick's Big Brother, essentially. It was a Spiel des Jahres nominee. Dice rolling game, it's light, it's family, but man, it's got a little bit more bite to it, a little bit more to think about than, say, Quick's. And Dr. Eureka is a sort of a speed and dexterity style game where you're going to be putting these balls into beakers or test tubes, if you will, and trying to put them back and forth and trying to get them to match a card as faster than everybody else. It's just a crazy zany game, and I do a live playthrough during my review so you can see what the game really feels like.
Hey folks, welcome back to another week in review. This week I was able to take care of 7 videos for your viewing pleasure. I was able to do 3 more informational videos with Imperial Assault and the expansion packs. I was able to do, first of all, General Sorin, the tactician and ruthless tactician. I was also able to do IG-88, a droid assassin. And then I was also able to do another one for Dengar, where he was another bounty hunter, but he was very vindictive and that type of thing. So those expansion packs add a lot of cool things to the game. Go ahead and check those out to see exactly what. Then I was also able to do my top 5 flight games, games that have some type of central mechanism that has to do with aviation or flight or something to that effect. Not necessarily inside the atmosphere either. A little bit of a spoiler there, but there you have it. Top 5 flight games. Go check that out. Then I was also able to do an older game from, I believe, 2008 called Toledo. It's a Martin Wallace design put out by Mayfair, where each person is taking the role of a family, moving and trying to build 3 of the best swords to deliver to the Emperor. Really cool worker placement game. Go check that one out as well. Also able to do a brand newer game, that's kind of a word, called Dark Age Z. It's put out by Smoothie Games. It's kind of a mashup between modern day zombies and medieval style archers and knights and cavalry and that type of thing. It's pretty interesting, neat looking game. A lot of cool mechanics in it. Go check it out for my final thoughts on it though. And then I was also able to do another video where we continued our Battling Brushes series with myself and Rob Oren, where we're painting Arcadia Quest. And this week, I was able to paint Wisp and Scarlet, and then Rob did Grom and Spike. So 4 of the heroes from the game are completed, done, ready to go. So go check out that and see how those went. So that's all I have for you this week. See you on the flip side.
Hey everybody, 4 games for review this week. The first one is Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization. This is a reprint and sort of a retooling, reworking. There are some rule changes, some card balances to the original Through the Ages. This is a big, heavy, long civilization-themed game. Definitely not for everybody. I've actually kind of grown to like this over the years, but definitely take a look at that if you're interested in a big, crunchy, Euro-y civilization-style game. The next one is Pflaumen. Can't really pronounce that. It is a trick-taking game about fruit and plums and the number pi and all kinds of weirdness. It's a very kind of awkward and strange trick-taking game, but we really have enjoyed it, and I believe it's being brought over to the US this year at some point. The next one is a Modern Art the card game, kind of an old classic. Very much a kind of easygoing filler game, kind of like For Sale or No Thanks. Not really like those games mechanically, but kind of fits in there as sort of an alternative to maybe that style of game if you're looking for something like that. And finally, Neue Heimat, which I'm probably mispronouncing. And I've just learned since posting the review that the game is completely sold out and the company's out of business. So you can go watch the review. The game's really, really cool. You can say I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. But I'm a little bit heartbroken that the company's out of business and the game is no longer going to be seeing print. And I looked and the game's going for like $100. So if you want to take a look at that and check it out and maybe go investigate the game further, definitely do. It's a very mean, cutthroaty auction game that is just nasty, nasty, nasty. Very different and interesting though, so definitely take a look. Thanks.
Well, it seems like this week I didn't like as many games as I liked. We'll start with Urbis, which I thought was a bad take-that tile game, where you had these tiles and you place them down and they help you out or they hurt somebody else, and it was incredibly random. The tiles were all over the place. It was an interesting idea for a game, just execution was pretty terrible. Iron League Junior, which has some beautiful miniatures, looks fun, put them together, put your own guns on, that sounds really fun. But the game is super lucky and has no depth even for kids. Appllo XIII, I wanted to really like this game because the theme is great about rescuing these astronauts on their way to the moon. The problem with this game, very, very scripted. Doesn't deviate much at all. Every game is going to play out kind of the same, and because it's so scripted, you're at the mercy of the cards. Dragon Valley is a cool game idea where you take some sticks and you pick up a dragon and you move them around, but the game itself isn't really there. Picking the dragons up with sticks is an interesting idea, but they needed to add a little bit of a game to that. Jason and I took a look at Elfenroads, the new one, which includes Elfenland, Elfensea, and Elfengold. And we talked about that, talked about Elfenland over the years and where it's fallen. And for me, basically, it was a very good game when it came out, but time has taken its toll on it, and I'd rather play games like Ticket to Ride these days. Still a decent game. Did not like Elfengold, though. Emoji Cards is a game which you take little emojis and you are basically playing charades, but instead of doing actions and things, you're using the cards to build pictures, to do different things. For what the game is, it's fun, and I think people will like it. Not everyone, no. Green is a golf game. I am not a golf fan at all, but I thought that this game did a fun job at bringing golfing into a card game. A little bit of push your luck, a little bit of card play, short enough to be interesting, and a great gift for someone who does like golf. Jason and I also took a look at Andromeda, the classic Alan Moon game, which comes with the cosmic ashtray. Not really, but there's a lot of luck in this game and some interesting trading in the game and cubes coming out of the cosmic ring. So you have to watch this one. It's an unusual game. It's out of print now, but and I don't know if it'll ever be back in print, but fun. Think Straight. Now you'll notice my rating here for this game is a 6, but it would have been much higher had the components were just awful. They're not good at all for this game. However, the game itself is one of the best deduction games I've ever played. Bring some good components to that, and wow, does the rating of this one go up. Catan Traveler, which is a pretty solidly put together Settlers of Catan game that you can take with you, and it opens up. You'll have to watch my review. You can see all the little drawers and the cards and everything. It's small, but it works. I also took a look at the 3 XenoShyft small expansions, one with aliens, one with telepathy and things like that, and one with, like you're crafting iron wings on your back. So there's 3 different expansions. They all add some stuff to XenoShyft. They're not necessary, but they're fun additions. And finally, last, Spike, another game that does not have stellar components. The components are okay, but it's a really solid, acquire-like filler type game. I was very impressed with this one. Certainly check it out from Columbia Games. I also did, we did the top 10 lists and things last week. You can find all those on our channel. Check out all these videos. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Week in Review.